I'm up the shit with my brother. I'm up the shit with my. I'm up the shit with my brothers. Keep lethal weapons and Glover. First make a young nigga thugger. You know best friend is a cover. Girl on me bouncing like flubber. Boy young with money like stunner. 300 a pint pour all summer. Shoot on sight if you fuck with my come up. Your boy got a license to stun this. Shoot on sight isn't right, but we gunning. Sippin' Sprite pour all night at the function. Yeah, we bumped 21, ain't no jumping. Through the X and the X did the.
I want you to come over. I wish that you would come and give me something to prove. Won't you pull me closer? I think that I'm obsessed with everything that you do. I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. We've been making magic, and sometimes I get nervous, but too good to believe. I don't know how it happened, but baby, I'm ecstatic that you're sticking with me. Hey, I'm waiting, trying to be patient. You look like a painting. It's so frustrating. I hate it, yeah. I probably shouldn't say this. I probably should erase it. I probably shouldn't say this. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, call me a fan. I'm living, give me your hand. I'm in it, yeah. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do, I wanna be with you. If that's the last thing that I could do. Every weekend is the same. I'm the one you're trying to claim. Yeah, I already know about your game, but I'm not the one to sit around and be played. Call me up with no shame. All your words sound the same. Yeah, I already know about your game, but I'm not the one to sit around and be played. If you come around just to play me, don't bother, cause you're way overdue. Don't even try to convince me. Don't
Yo, 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 everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone is having a fine evening. Tonight we're going to be racing the season finale here in Mexico of the Divine Eye Racing League. It is going to be season 1 round 6. We're only going to be doing 6 rounds just because Div 1 and Div 2 need to run at similar dates and similar, well, not the similar dates because it's on different days. But you know, Div 1 round 1 should be together with Div 2 round 1, and right now it's not the case. Last night I think we had Div 1 racing their round 12 of the season, and today we're going to be racing Div 2 round 6, so you can see it doesn't add up. We're going to be starting with a short qualifying, one shot qualifying, and then a sprint race and a 50% race afterwards. So hopefully we're going to be able to do some fun stuff tonight with you guys. We're currently on board with one of the top guys. Let's go on board with him real quick. It is Daryl Naismith, who dropped back all the way to P11, so that means he is running not too many, well, a lot of wings, because he's losing a lot of time down the main straight, going into turn 1. Let's have a quick look how this lap around Mexico looks like. And you want to take as much curb down the inside there into turn 1 and 2 and 3 the same, basically go full throttle coming through that corner, and then you're gonna have once again a DRS straight. You got two big DRS straights, I would say, one down the main straight, one of the longest straights on the calendar actually. I think the second longest, if I'm not mistaken. I think Azerbaijan is a little bit longer. Heading into sector 2, and let me put the lap data on real quick and the track map. You know, you've got that iconic S section here in Mexico. It's actually a few S's right behind each other. You don't want to touch too well. You want to touch a lot of curb, but during a race that can be very costly, because you can easily go into the wall thanks to that curbs. To those curbs. Going into sector 3 here, you've got that little bit of a U-turn, and then you're heading into that fast right-hander, and then another fast right-hander. So a pretty good lap here from Daryl Naismith. He's going to be around P7, P8. Somewhere around there. Might be able to put himself in P6. Doesn't look like it. Call Me Arcade has put himself on pole. Welcome, Sari, in the chat. Hope you're having a fine evening, buddy. How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? And it is going to be Daryl Naismith in P7, if I'm not mistaken. The pole goes to Call Me Arcade. The steps in P2, and then we've got Khan in P3. Further, we've got Kev, Shermanator, Ellie House, Daryl Naismith, AWH Smith. Let me delete my camera real quick, guys. 1 second. There we go. So camera is gone. Then we've got Smith, Chasal, Talk, Jesper, AP, Oranje, Swanee, Mookie, Scottish, Tonhinga, Jan, and Tutski all the way in P19. Quite a few disqualifications here. About 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. And Oranje Bone Brown is going to be the last out of the ones who have qualified. So he's going to be all the way in P13, unfortunately. And all the guys who have disqualified aren't going to be able to, well, to start at the front row, of course. Let me have a quick look. Disappointed to miss out of tonight. That's very unfortunate. Sorry. China is the longest straight. Baku officially isn't, but ting the corners out of it, and it is. I think, are they corners though? Because you can go full throttle through them, so, well, basically that doesn't really matter. It seems like we've got rain around Mexico, which is a pain in the ass for these guys. It is going to be so much chaos in turn 1, I can tell you that already. Well, China, I can agree with that, to be honest. So China, then Mexico, and then Baku, I think? I'm not sure, I need to Google that real quick. I'm pretty sure you Googled it too, didn't you, Thomas? I've got 11 messages. Alright, fair enough. Alright guys, we have got 5 red lights. It's gonna be... Why are people texting me right now? They don't need to text me. Hold up. Alright. There we go. So we've got a sprint race. It is going to be a formation lap first. Tire-wise, we are looking at the intermediate tires going down the main straight. We are going to be warming up our tires. The guys are not warming up their tires properly. This is not the way to go. Fuck's sake, the one race I didn't practice wet weather. Thomas. I don't think you practice wet weather anytime, Thomas. I don't think you ever practice wet weather, to be honest. Nobody practices wet weather. Who does that? Who is a freak? Not in the sheets, but on track. I don't think anyone is there? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe Tutski. He's one of those guys who would do that. And there's an AlphaTauri quite slow. I think that's Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Is there another AlphaTauri? Yes, there is. And that is the Steps, who's going really slow. Not too sure why he's all the way at the back. Generally happens like that, Tom. I do. Thomas, nobody does that. For races that are likely to be wet. I don't even think it is likely anywhere. Well, here's the thing. Isn't the game programmed that it could rain around Bahrain too? Isn't that a possibility? I think it is. Like the chances of having rain in Bahrain is as high as having rain in Belgium, for example. But I'm not sure if the algorithm works like that or not. So we're currently on board with Call Me Arcade, who's being followed by Khan, Chassal, and his teammate Ali House have been disqualified. Not too sure what happened there between both of them, but they are going to be on the grid. Their tires are going to be quite cold, and those races are most likely to have rained and Bahrain. Yeah, I know, Thomas, in real life, but not on the game. I don't know if it works like that on the game, you know? That was my question, because it could be that the game just said, you know, we want 50%, well, 10% chance of rain in Silverstone, but we also want 10% chance of rain in Bahrain. You know, you never know. So we're going to be lining up on the grid. Call Me Arcade is going to be starting with the Steps in P2 and Khan in P3. And it is going to be 5 red lights pretty soon. The tires don't really matter right now. We might be looking at the position changes. Anime straight we go, and hopefully we're going to be having a clean and good start. We've got 5 red lights here in Mexico. Oh, the 5 red lights didn't go off yet. 5 red lights here in Mexico, Season 1, Round 6 of Div 2 of the Divine Eye Racing. It seems like a bad start from Call Me Arcade there. Also, the Alpine driver is getting overtaken down the inside by Kev Slice already. As it seems like the Steps is not going to be able to make a move. Shermanator with a good start. Oh, and someone in the wall already. That's a Red Bull, and that is going to be raced over. Safety car. Well, it's going to be a virtual safety car. And the second Alpine in the wall, well, on the grass. It's a lot of chaos here, as it's trying to gain a lot of positions. Not too sure if that's allowed under safety car. But he dropped a couple of positions, 4 to be exact. He had a good start. Started around P5, if I'm not mistaken. I came back to P3, then dropped back all the way to P8. Talking about Terminator here. It seems like Talk gained a couple of positions, 4 to be exact. Scottish also gained 6. Mookie gained 4, as I think the Earl Naismith Terminator is letting a lot of people through. Not too sure what he's doing there at the back. As you can see, he went into the side of the Mercedes driver. That is going to be Scottish. And then we've got the Red Bull driver with a broken front wing. That is going to be Jesper, and we are racing again. So we've got both of the Aston Martins currently in the top 3. A little bit of a gap from Call Me Arcade to the Steps, as I think Kev Slice is struggling a little bit here. Here comes Khan down the main straight. Is he already going to be able to make that move? Doesn't look like it. Was looking to go down the inside, but the room was not there, unfortunately. What is Smith going to do? He's not close enough to make a move on the Alpine driver, but it looks like Talk is pushing on the rear end of, well, not really pushing, but pushing as in putting a lot of effort trying to make the overtake on the AlphaTauri driver. Call Me Arcade with a 138.3. Fastest lap of the race, as it seems like Talk is trying to make the overtake, but the room was not there. Let's have a quick look if he's got enough straight line speed. Doesn't look like it, and he'll have to patiently wait. Scottish does make the move on Terminator. Terminator around the outside, as Scottish is trying to keep that position down the inside. Beautiful move there from Terminator, from Scottish, my apologies, as he breaks a little later to not give Terminator a lot of room to try and make that cutback work. Let me have a quick look here with Jan on the tail of the Ferrari driver. Is he going to be able to make that overtake? Doesn't look like it. Khan does manage to get past Kev Slice. And here comes Jan down the inside. The Frenchman makes a late dive bomb, but it didn't really touch the Ferrari driver. And now they're going side by side. Some beautiful racing between the two of them. But Jan takes the position. The Ferrari yields coming into this fast right-hander. And he almost loses a car there. Mookie with a good recovery. And he's now being followed by the Alfa Romeo driver. Khan and Kev are having a heated battle. Kev getting overtaken by 2 people at the same time. Khan and Smith both make the overtake. Smith with a good race here. Already gained 4 positions. Talk getting under attack from behind. No, it's the other way around. Kev Slice loses another position to Talk, as Talk is trying to make the overtake. Almost a slip there from Kev Slice, but did he get touched by the Alfa Romeo driver Ali House, who now makes the overtake. Also, Daryl Naismith goes around the outside. And Mookie gets the 3-second time penalty. And what will it be for the Mercedes team? They're both right behind each other. They're going to give each other a tow. But will it be Daryl Naismith making the overtake? Doesn't look like it. Kev Slice has way too much straight line speed. Here comes Scottish making the overtake on his teammate. Down the inside he goes. And will he be able to make that overtake? Doesn't look like it. Kev Slice goes a little bit too deep into that corner. Well, too deep, not really, because he keeps the position. And he's right on the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver, as it seems like Scottish is now having the inside line. Will he be able to make that move into turn 4? It does look like it even before the turn is there. Beautiful move from the Mercedes driver. And now what he has to do is make it difficult for the Aston Martin driver, because that way Daryl Naismith is going to be able to make the overtake on the Aston Martin driver. Scottish now is going to try and push and get past this Alfa Romeo driver and also past Talk, because Talk is leaving some kind of space right in front of him, about 1.8 seconds right now, as Aliha is trying to make the overtake. Talk seems to be struggling a little bit, might not have the right setup to be racing around Mexico in wet weather conditions, as it seems like the top group has already created some space. Here comes Aliha trying to make a dive bomb, but the room was not there. He was a little bit too late too. I don't think he had enough space to go down the inside. And now Daryl Naismith has managed to get past the Aston Martin driver. Beautifully done by Naismith, as there's quite a bit of a DRS gap. Well, DRS train, but there is no DRS when it's raining. So they're going to be having a little bit of slipstream from each other, but I don't think that will give too much of an advantage. Here comes Ali House. Down the inside is Talk having enough straight line speed. Doesn't look like it. He's going down the inside. Beautifully done by Talk, as it seems like AWH Smith is making the overtake. Ali House trying to go down the inside. Talk defending quite nicely. Is Ali House going to be able to make a switchback work? Doesn't look like it. Some beautiful defense from the Dutch driver here in P5, my apologies, but he also has that penalty to work with, so I'm not too sure what he's doing good with right now. There goes Ali House making a deep launch, as Talk defends one more time, but he pushes the Alfa Romeo driver a little bit wide now. Ooh, and they clinch wheels, almost going into the wall. Well, almost. Well, they clinched wheels, you know how that goes. Here comes Ali House down the inside. But he's been overtaken by Scottish, and also Talk with that interesting defense, pushing the Alfa Romeo driver a little bit wide coming into turn 6, if I'm not mistaken. And Scottish gets another 3-second time penalty. He does make the overtake on the Dutch driver. Here comes Ali House one more time, and Thomas pushes the Alfa Romeo driver a little bit deep. Will he be going into the wall? Doesn't look like it. Might have gotten wing damage. And Ali House having a heated battle with the Aston Martin driver, goes down the inside. It's always chaos here in wet weather conditions. Jan around the outside of Shermanator. Some beautiful racing between the both of them. Will Jan be keeping this position? It does look like it's some beautiful moves or some beautiful defense. I'm not too sure if he made the overtake or if he got overtaken. Here comes Ali House on the tail of Kev Slice. Once again, some good straight line speed from the Aston Martin driver. And is that because he has the right setup? Or is that because he's just got such a powerful exit coming out of that last corner? It seems like Ali House is trying to make a move down the inside now. Daryl Naismith gets overtaken by Jan, and also Ali House gets overtaken by both Daryl Naismith and Jan. And also Shermanator trying to go around the outside of Daryl Naismith here. Some beautiful defense from Daryl Naismith. Look at that. He kind of made it awkward, and he gets spun out by Shermanator. That might be frustrating for the Mercedes driver right now. Shermanator, who's not had the race he wanted to have, kind of got spun himself, spun someone out. I'm not too sure what happened here with Shermanator, but he dropped back 5 positions right now, and he's probably going to get a penalty for crashing out the Mercedes driver. Seems like there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is going to be the McLaren driver or the Alfa Romeo driver. Talk dropped back all the way to P10. His lead from P5, well, lead from the little group, dropped back all the way to P10. So he lost about 5 positions of his good comeback race, if you ask me. He had a bad qualifying, but I mean, got back all the way to P5 and then dropped back to P10. Quite unfortunate, but Jan with a good race right now. 11 positions gained. Also Scottish all the way in P5. 11 positions gained. Here comes Daryl Swanee making the overtake. He almost goes into the wall. No, it's another car. It's the Ferrari driver, and that is going to be Mookie Tutsky currently in P12 making the overtake on Daryl Swanee. Chassal retires from the session in the pit lane, which is not lovely to see, but at least he doesn't retire on track, does he? Daryl Naismith with an aggressive move around the outside. I think he kind of missed his braking point. Didn't want to go into the back of the Ferrari driver. Kind of, went a little bit too deep into that corner, trying to avoid the Ferrari driver. AP with a 3-second time penalty too. And let's go on board with Daryl Swanee. Although Tutsky making a good comeback race. It's the Dutch versus the Dutch. Here comes Tutsky on the tail of the the other Dutch driver, Talk, who is in the Haas car. Both drivers running Ferrari engines, if I'm not mistaken. I think Haas is also running a Ferrari engine. And going into the S's right now, Thomas seems to be having a slippy rear. And that's, and he loses the corner. Well, loses the car a little bit going into that corner. Loses it again. What is Talk doing here? Kind of losing the the rear end a little bit too much. And he makes a beautiful switchback. What is Thomas doing? Look at that move from the Dutch driver. What is this awkward line? Beautifully done by Thomas. If he keeps this position, he's an absolute legend. What is he doing? Oh, almost made the switchback work. What a move into turn 12. Or turn 19. I'm not too sure what turn that is. And we've got a good overtake opportunity from Kev Slides around the outside of Jan. And Jan cuts the corner a little bit too much, gets a 3-second time penalty. And here comes Kev Slides making the overtake on the Williams driver. And also Ali House benefited from that mistake from Jan. Now he's about 1.3 seconds behind. Tutski makes the overtake. Thomas trying to go around the outside. He's not going to have the DRS, but he does keep the position, I think. Tutski goes back into the slipstream. And it's a three-way battle for P10 for some good points for the team. Especially with their teammates not being in the top, top 10. It's going to be Talk leading the Haas team. It's going to be Tusky leading the Ferrari team and Daryl Swanee leading the Red Bull team. So it's not like these three teams are doing a great job at scoring points for their team. So that's what they're all battling about. Battling for right now. Talk with another 3-second time penalty. As I said, look at his car. There goes Tusky, and he has a broken front wing. A safety car situation. He lost the car coming out of the fast left-right handers, and it's always a tricky case when your car, is gone. You cannot do anything about it. There goes the McLaren driver. Don't think that was allowed. He has to give that position back, as indeed he should. A lot of guys can pass the safety car. I think Tusky is going to come back into the pits. A lot of guys coming into the pits. I think that they will be going on to intermediate tires. Or is it already wet tires? I don't think so, if I'm being honest. A lot of guys going another set of intermediates. And Call Me Arcade had a lead of about 6 seconds. Is going to lose that lead one more time. Because, of course, the guys will all be right behind the safety car. It's 8 laps out of the 12 here during the sprint race. So, guys, make sure you know that. It's only sprint race. So, of course, what I was saying earlier about them battling for points, that is, of course, going to transfer to the race. Because they will be starting in P10, 11, and 12. So, they're only the top. No, I don't know how the point system works, actually, here. Because I know these guys were... a lot of these guys were racing in Phoenix. Phoenix became... dead at some point. Divine Eye said, we are going to make a league with all the members that still want to race. He made the league, but I'm not too sure if he copied the same settings. Like in Phoenix, they used to run the same points for the race as the sprint race. So basically P1 got 35 points, if I'm not mistaken. And then P2 got 30. I'm not too sure about the point system here. It might be somewhere in the Discord. Let me have a quick look for you guys. It might be great. It might be good. Divine Eye Racing. Is it here somewhere? I don't think it is here somewhere, if I'm being honest. Lobby rules and regulations. Maybe it's that one. Oh, here. Okay. So point system. Sprint races. P1 gets 10 points. P2 gets 9 points. All right. So it's P1 gets 10, and then we all all the time go 1 point less. So P2 gets 9 points, P3 gets 8 points. So they were indeed battling for a point for their team, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, Thomas, thank you. I just find it. Thank you, buddy. Oh, you guys cannot see me at all. What is this? Oh, man. I thought you guys could see me. Well, now you can. I hope the live stream is not lagging too much. Can you guys let me know if the live stream is lagging? That would be nice. Because I'm trying some new internet connection settings. Oh, look at that. Call Me Arcade came into the pits. We totally missed that. Well, I totally missed that. That is crazy. Call Me Our Kid with a bold strategy. I'm not too sure if it's going to pay off. He is on fresher intermediates, but it's only going to be for 2 laps, so I don't think it is going to be enough for Call Me Our Kid, or it really needs to have the pace and the confidence to be able to get past Scottish and AWH Smith. The steps drop back to P5. He also came into the pits. So I think those two know what they're going to be, what they do. What they're good at, what their pace is. Maybe they thought, on these old intermediates, I've got a lot of pace. I'm going to be even having more pace on the new, fresh intermediates. So that might be the case here for those two. Call Me Our Kid currently in P3. The steps in P5. And is there anyone else who came into the pits? Khan in P6. I think he was in P3 earlier. Also, Calf Slice came into the pits. Jan came into the pits. Shermanator, Talk, Daryl Swanee, Daryl Naismith. And then Tonhinga didn't come into the pits. He's still on 7-lap intermediate. I think he came into the pits quite early during this race. Tutski came into the pits. Oranje came into the pits. Jesper and Mookie both came into the pits too. Let me have a quick look at the penalties here, because that is going to be very important. Khan has got a 5-second time penalty, probably for speeding in the pit lane. AP with a 3-second. Ooh, look at that Talk. He's going to drop back a lot of positions. Just because, there's only 2 more laps. He's probably not going to be able to create a 9-second gap, and I don't think he will be able to create a 6-second gap to Tonhinga either. So he's going to drop back, well, realistically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. I think Oranje Boom Brown is going to be the last one to be promoted thanks to that 9-second time penalty of Talk. Also, Kev Slice currently in P8. Good race he's racing. A little bit of, sometimes... No, it was Ali. I don't know. Those two had some ups and downs with their moves. I'm not 100% sure. I think Kev Slice's moves were actually quite nice. Dynamite straight. He has a lot of straight line speed, so that is very helpful here around Mexico. But I'm not too sure about Talk's setup. He's sliding all over the place. I don't even think he has got a wet tire setup on. He just doesn't have the traction. And I think it could also be the fact that he's running no traction. Is he even running no traction? That is a good question. But we are going to be racing again. I'll leave the penalties on here. It is going to be AWH Smith and Scottish battling for the race lead. But of course, Scottish has got that 3-second time penalty. So he's going to drop back a couple of positions thanks to that. Khan is the other guy with a 5-second. And then a lot of guys with 3 seconds. And then of course, Talk with 9 seconds. And Mookie all the way at the back with 6. So here we go, coming around the last corner. Seems like that camera is stuck a little bit. When is AWH Smith going to go? He's going to go right now. A little bit of an awkward line there from Scottish. Not too sure what he was doing, but here comes Call Me Our Kid. Is this going to be the first move already? And it's down the main straight. Will he be having the slipstream? It doesn't look like AWH Smith is giving slipstream to anyone. Although Call Me Our Kid does make that move down the straight, and he's got a good opportunity taking the lead of the race. It doesn't look like the steps gained any positions. Kev Slice now losing the toe off the Alpine driver already. And if got caught sleeping, Talk with a 3-second time penalty. And here comes Call Me Our Kid down the inside, goes back onto the racing line and makes that overtake on AWH Smith. Beautiful racing from Call Me Our Kid, and definitely has the pace here around Mexico. That is going to give some great sparks during the race. Khan down the inside of the steps. And the steps is not only gaining positions, he's losing positions. In a matter of fact, he was all the way in P2 when he didn't come into the pits. Currently in P6, he lost one to the guy with a 5-second time penalty. So that's definitely not ideal. It seems like there is some battling going on here at the back, at the midfield. Ali House with a 3-second time penalty, not ideal. And he's going to get overtaken by the Alpine driver. And he's around the outside. Here comes Alias. Is he going to be able to make a switch backward? Doesn't look like it, but the steps around the outside of the Alfa Romeo driver. The room was not there. Last lap we are going into during this sprint race. It seems like Daryl Swanee managed to get into the top 10. Daryl Naismith making the overtake on AP. Beautiful racing from Daryl Naismith right there. But let's go back to the top group. Scottish around the outside of AWH Smith. Is he going to be able to take this position? Doesn't look like it. He needs to keep Khan behind him. And that's just it. Talk with another 5-second time penalty. What is Talk doing? Retiring in the pit lane. Why would you do that? He's going to be starting all the way from the back now. That is not ideal for the Dutch driver. Absolutely no grip. No, I saw that, Thomas. Here comes Kev Slice around the outside, goes onto the curb a little bit too much. Might have lost some you know, carrying speed. No, not carrying speed, but like some braking pressure going onto the curb. You're not going to be able to. Well, you're going to have 100% brake pressure, but you're going to shoot through a little bit more. So I think that's where he lost the car a little bit. Kev Slice going into the S's. I don't think anyone is going to be able to make that move. Look at that gap from Call Me Our Kid to AWH Smith. 5 seconds already in only 1 lap. Well, 2 laps probably. Tonghinga makes that move on AP. So we might want to go back to the front of the grid. Kev Slice is going to shoot one more chance. Scottish making the overtake on AWH Smith. It was definitely not necessary because he's got that 3-second time penalty anyway. But I think he's kind of trying to create a gap to the Steps here. And the Steps not making the overtake. No, he's not going to make an overtake. And oh, I think AWH Smith was trying to let Steps go through. But it didn't look like it. But now the Steps will have the slipstream coming into the race. Because he's going to be right behind Call Me Our Kid. And I think that is going to be playing into his advantage. So the Steps is taking P3 here. He's going to be scoring 8 points if I'm not mistaken. But Call Me Our Kid is going to get the full points. 10 points on the board and maybe 1 point for the fastest lap. As we're going to go all the way to the back of the grid. Mookie coming around sector 3. And that is not going to be a bad race. Well, it is basically going to be a bad race for Mookie. But I think he kind of crashed into the wall. Or I'm not too sure what happened. But yeah, he's going to be starting from P17 or 18. 17. Mookie. A good comeback race will make everything better. I'm pretty sure of that. Let me have a quick look with the chat. Only reason I DNF'd myself was because I was going to spin and be last anyway. Thomas, it was only 1 more lap. It doesn't make sense. So don't look at these results. I need to disable my camera once again. Don't look at these results. Call Me Our Kid is going to take 10 points, not 8. And we're going to lower down the points with 1 each time we go down. AWH Smith in P2 and the Steps takes P3. Further we've got Kev. Ooh, Scottish, look at that. P16 to P5. And he could have even gotten better without that 3-second time penalty. Daryl Swanee with a good comeback race. Came from P14 and now in P6. Further we've got Daryl Naismith, Jan, Khan, Ali House, Shermanator, Tutski, Oranje, Tonghinga, AP, Jesper, Mookie, Tok, and El Chasal. So that is going to be your results of the sprint race. Now we will be having a full race. I hope it is going to be a dry weather, but of course I cannot predict anything. Let me have a quick look. Well, let us have a quick look as I need to enable my camera once again. Here we go, and we are going to be having a sunny sunshines here in Mexico. And that is, of course, great because we don't want any chaos into turn 1 once again, you know. That was the case earlier. So hopefully we're not going to have that. I'm just going to listen to the live stream to see if the quality is alright, as nobody let me know whether the quality was alright or not. So let me have a quick look here. Divine Eye Racing. As I do think the quality should be fine, but, you know, you never know. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I'm just gonna take the microphone a little bit further away so you guys don't hear the pops and the yeses and the P's too much. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. Never heard you ask. No, don't worry. I think I said something about the quality from the live stream, not really my my camera or like my my microphone. So don't worry about it. We have 10 people watching though. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much for the watching. I hope you guys like the live stream already. I know some of you are driving, listening at the same time, and hearing me say shit about you. My apologies in advance. I think we're going to be having a... Yes, indeed, we are. We're going to be having a formation lap first. Because I'm currently braking my... Oh, I can do this. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. All right, let's have a quick look with the strategies. Let me do a prediction. I think Call Me Our Kid is starting on the mediums. Yes, indeed. We are seeing a lot of different strategies. A funny thing, I think... In my opinion, I wouldn't go on to softs here in Mexico, but it seems like you know, the ideal strategy is either soft mediums or medium soft. And I think Pirelli is going to give us a prediction pretty soon. But if I were to rate, well, if I were to pick, oh, here we go, soft mediums or medium hards. So if I were to pick a strategy, I would go medium hards. And the main reason for that is, if you start on the soft tires, you're entering sector 2, your tires are not going to be boiling. But going into sector 2, your tires are boiling. And that's the problem with most of the guys starting on the soft tires. Their tires are boiling, they don't know about it, they go into the S's and they spin into the wall. And I think we're going to be seeing at least one driver on the soft tires spin into the wall today. The question is, who is that going to be? To be continued. Doon, 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 doon. No, that's just the thing. The guys on the mediums, I'm not too sure what their strategy is going to be. It's also a possibility that they're going on to the hards at the end of the race. Or maybe the soft tire is going on to the hard tires. That's also a possibility. I'm not quite sure. But it is what it is. Thomas going on to the soft says he's going to be the one spinning into the wall. Thomas, don't think of that about yourself. Go remix. Yes, yes, yes. Dun, 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 dun. All right, guys, we're going to be lining up on the grid, and hopefully we're going to be having a clean turn 1. That's the only thing I can hope for. And no safety cars, but I don't think that's going to happen here in Mexico. So we're all lining up on the grid. I think the guys at the back of the grid are currently shout out to Lewis Hamilton WDC, or he wants a shout out to someone else. I don't know. Make sure to let me know, Lewis. Guys, we've got 5 red lights here in Mexico tonight, as it is going to be Divine Eye Racing Div 2 round 6 of season 1. It's 5 red lights and away we go, and we've got a pretty decent start there from Call Me Arcade. Scottish already makes up a position on the Aston Martin driver. Here comes Scottish trying to make the overtake on AWH Smith. He's going around the outside. Is he going to be able to make that move? It does look like it. It is going to be the steps down the inside of Call Me Arcade. He's having the outside line right now. Is he going to be able to make a switchback work? It doesn't look like it. He's having an awkward line, but Scottish manages to get back into P3. AWH Smith has got his hands full with the Aston Martin driver right behind him, and we've got a clean turn 1. That's all we could have hoped for. Now hopefully turn 4 is going to be as clean. Oh, it's not going to be as clean. Commentators cursed, and as it is going to be Shermanator. Reset back to track. That's a penalty. Daryl Naismith now making the overtake on Tutsky as they gain quite a few positions. Let's have a quick look at the position changes here. To go Tutsky and Daryl Naismith. Some close racing, but some good racing from the both of them. Scottish on the tail of the steps. Now around the outside he goes. Is he going to be able to make this position up? The steps, not leaving too much space, but right enough for the Mercedes driver to make the move possible. The steps turning a bit too early into that corner. He's still having the outside line. Here comes the Mercedes driver. Is the steps going to be leaving enough space? Doesn't look like it. Almost turns into the wall. Well, turns the Mercedes driver into the wall. We've got Lewis giving a shout out to the league in general. He says, great league, very well organized and commentated. Perfect. Well, lovely to hear that. Mr. Lewis Hamilton. hopefully it's not the real Lewis Hamilton, because I wouldn't take your compliment. Love you, Divine. All right, here comes Jan having an interesting battle with the Aston Martin. I think that's Khan, who lost a couple of positions thanks to a 5-second time penalty. Gained 3 again. Here comes Jan down the inside. Is having an interesting line. I don't think the Aston Martin driver, the Alpine driver, is leaving too much space for Jan to make the overtake. And beautiful defense from Khan right now. He's quite an aggressive driver, but I quite like that about him. Jesper now having a battle with Mookie, as I think Tutsky gained a couple of positions already. Jesper now having the inside line through the S's. Is he going to push Mookie a little bit wide? Mookie goes onto the curb as he almost got shot through. We definitely don't want to see that lap 2 safety car. Jan trying another chance. Well, having another chance trying to make the overtake on Khan right now. Jesper making the overtake. Almost Mookie loses the car right there as he almost goes into the wall. Scottish and the steps having a deja vu. They had the same incident earlier, but now the roles are switched. Scottish down the inside. Here comes the AWH Smith making a double overtake down the inside. The guys won't have DRS yet, but some beautiful defense here from Scottish having the inside line on the steps. I think AWH Smith is going to be playing an interesting role here between the battle of these two. A little bit too much curb taken by the Mercedes driver. Here comes Kev around the outside, but look at that straight line speed from Scottish. Beautifully done by the Mercedes driver. And here comes... Oh, what is this? Scottish, he knew that something fishy was happening right there. AWH Smith let his teammate go through. Scottish was trying to benefit from that. Didn't really work out, as he's now going to be stuck behind AWH Smith, which is obviously not great. Gets another 3-second time penalty, which he had during that. Oh, almost loses the car. Controls the car quite nicely again. And here comes Kev Slice down the straight. Tutski is going to be able to gain a couple of tens here. Scottish down the inside makes the overtake on AWH Smith. Quite of an aggressive move, as Kev Slice is trying to benefit from this. AWH Smith is going to leave enough space and is not going to spin out Scottish. That's lovely to see. If I were the Steps teammate, I would do that. You know, getting a little bit of... Oh, almost loses the car here. Kev Slice. That was quite interesting to see. Jan now trying to make benefit of the slipstream. AWH Smith makes the overtake on Scottish again with the use of DRS. I think Scottish had the DRS too, but it was just not powerful enough to keep the Steps teammate behind him. Here comes Kev Slice. It's a 4-way battle for P2. And also, it is almost going to be an 8-way battle. No, a 7-way battle. If Tutski, Jan, and Khan manage to get back. Scottish down the inside. Is he going to have enough space? It does look like it. Let's have a quick look. Almost go into the wall. Well, almost touch each other. And when you touch each other right there, you're going into the wall. I can assure you that. I think we've seen it during the sprint race. Jan on the tail of the Ferrari driver. It's not going to be enough for the Frenchman. But I do think Tutski is being a big help trying to get back to that top group. Yeah, call me Arcade. He's already won this race. Look at that, a 5.2 second gap to P2 at the moment. And I don't think he will gain, well, the Steps, talking about the Steps here, gain too much time anymore. He is in a constant battle with the other guys behind him. And they managed to get back into that DRS, talking about Tutski here. 6/10s behind Kev Slice. It's going to be a 7-way battle for P2, which is going to be very interesting. Scottish down the inside. No, he's having the outside line. And is AWH Smith going to make the overtake on his teammate? Doesn't look like it. He backs out of it. Now roles have reversed. Although I think Scottish is going to have the DRS, isn't he? Yes, he does indeed. Is AWH Smith going to make the overtake on his teammate? He does leave the space. That is not going to be an overtake. Look at Kev Slice. Trying to squeeze his way around the AlphaTauri driver, but I think he's patiently waiting at the moment, trying to find the perfect moment to get past the AlphaTauri driver, past AWH Smith, as I think Jesper made a valuable mistake. Well, a big mistake, let's say it like that. Drops back all the way to P15 and got overtaken by DRL, Swanee, Shermanator, Mookie, who now gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's go back to the top group. Jan on the tail of Tutski, and I think Khan is kind of losing the toe. Let's have a quick look who is on those soft tires. It's Tutski, it's Mookie, it's Talk, and those guys gained quite a few positions. I think Chassal spun. Also AP right now. Is he going to be that one DNF I was talking about on the soft tires? Doesn't look like it. Here comes Tutski down the inside of the Aston Martin driver. Does he have enough speed? Does look like it, and that's going to be moved on for the Dutchman. Although, look at that. Oh no, he's having the inside line. Kev Slice trying to make switchback work. He doesn't have the good line through that corner. Got a good battle here between P3 and P4. The Steps is driving away in the horizon. 1 second of a gap to Smith's teammate. So Smith is doing a good job trying to create some space to his teammate. Although not quite yet though. Look at that. He's trying to catch up again, which is obviously not great. As the Steps teammate, you want to create as much of a gap as possible. And he's still going to have that DRS. Might be waiting for that DRS down the main straight. And keeping Scottish behind him. Ali House is going to be DNFing. I think that is going to be on track, isn't it? Or isn't it going to be on track? It is going to be on track. He's still driving. That Scottish trying to get past AWH Smith here, but it's just too difficult for the Mercedes driver. Down the main straight they go. I think AWH Smith is going to have the DRS. Here comes Scottish. Does he have enough pace? Does look like it. He's going down the inside. Oh, look at that speed from AWH Smith. He just has the straight line speed, and now all he has to do is try to create some kind of space to Scottish. Well, to the steps, because otherwise there is no point in holding him up. He's just being a pain in the ass for the steps right now. A little bit. He's taking the inside line. Scottish is not going to be able to make a move. Here they go, side by side into this fast, well, slow right-hander. And Scottish doesn't leave too much space for Smith. Around the outside, 5-second time penalty for Daryl Naismith. As he dropped back all the way to P17, and he's going to be retiring in the pit lane. We've got 3 drivers retiring in the pit lane, unfortunately. Talk with a 3-second time penalty. Tutski on the soft tires. Well, when will he be coming into the pits? And right the outside. Does he have enough space? He's going to make a switchback work. Look at that. Some good speed coming through that corner. As he's having the outside line. Is going to have the inside line 2 times. Doesn't give too much space there. Smith might be frustrated with the bracing from Scottish earlier into sector 2. And now Tutski makes the overtake. Is he going to have the DRS? It does look like it. Now straight line speed. And that is what AWH Smith is known for his straight line speed. Look at that. Almost is going to be able to make that move again on the Dutchman. Doesn't look like it. The steps got overtaken by Scottish. But Scottish has that 3-second time penalty, which I think is kind of a struggle for the Mercedes driver week in, week out. He's always having those 3-second time penalties, which cost him a couple of points, positions, whatever you want to call. Shermanator with a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane. I think he's going to retire too, if I'm not mistaken. Or he's going on to medium tires. That's also a possibility. And what will these medium tire runners be doing? Will they be going into the pits to go onto hard tires? Or will they take it on the long run, trying to go for soft tires? I would say at this point during the race, you can definitely go for soft tires, trying to stretch these mediums till the end of their stint. If there is a safety car in about 10 laps, or you know, 8 laps, something like that, I would assume they would go onto hard tires. Tutski kind of losing the toe. That means those soft tires are running off. Scottish now making a gap of 1.2 seconds to the steps. He's not doing a bad job at all. You're trying to push away from the AlphaTauri driver. Also Tutski. He's gonna have the DRS though. Dynamite straight he goes. Unfortunately, he does not have enough pace going through that last corner. It's a lot of curb. Some interesting pace here from Tutski Beer. But the funny thing is, he came all the way from the back of the grid, and these soft tires have really worked in his advantage, trying to go down the inside. Made a little move, letting the steps know that it was going to try it, but he kind of backed out of it. Having a good line coming through that slow right-hander. It's not going to be enough for a Tutski Beard. He's going to be trailing by a couple of tenths. Going into the S's, he will have dirty air. And with that dirty air, he's going to be struggling because, you know what the thing is, having dirty air through the S's is just going to make you have understeer, and you definitely don't want any understeer. As you can see, Tutski, how much speed he's losing through those S's on the steps. He's lost about 3 or 4 tenths. And that is the problem you have here in Mexico. The S's are just so powerful when you're the first car in the line. Because you're not going to have any dirty air. Tutski does have the dirty air, and that's going to play in his disadvantage. Jan on the tail of Tutski too. It seems like Khan is trying to make the overtake. Here comes Khan. No, here comes Kev down the inside. Beautiful move already, and I think he's even going to have the DRS thanks to that. Yes, indeed he does, but also Khan has the DRS. Who has the most straight line speed? Is Tutski going to be able to make the overtake? Yes, indeed he is, around the outside, and he's going to have another DRS opportunity, so he might be able to close down that gap to Scottish if he has the pace. Ooh, plays around with the track limits there. But Tutski also has that penalty though. Quite frustrating if a driver gets a penalty. If I were a driver myself, I would get very frustrated too. Ali Haas leaves the session. Some good battling here between the both of them. Khan and Kev Slice with another battle. Retirement from the session, and that is going to be a safety car. Safety car situation here in DER Season 1, Round 6 of the Div 2 race. And I do think the medium tire runners are going to come into the pits to go onto hard tires. I do think so. It would be the best strategy. Also, the soft tire runners might be able to go onto the hard tires. Ooh, drive-through penalty for Irania Bone Brown. That is not ideal, but he's in P12 anyway, so not too much points are going to be scored thanks to that. Call me our kid coming into the pits. What tire will he be going on? Possibly medium tires to finish off the race on softs. A two-stopper, that would be cool. Well, that would be cool to see. Everyone is coming into the pits. And AWH Smith has to watch out because he doesn't want to have a double stack, of course. Kev Slice with a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with AWH Smith. That's quite interesting because I think they didn't really touch that badly, did they? Kev Slice going onto the softs. Khan too. Ooh. That is... Whoa. Ooh. What is that kind of strategy, guys? What is that? Everyone is basically coming into the pits. But Call Me Our Kid lost his gap once again. And now he'll have to push again to try and make that gap work for him. And I'm just going to go to the toilet real quick, guys. So I will be right back with you. Yeah, I'll be right back in a sec. I'll see you guys in a sec. Oh, my stream seems to be lagging. That's obviously not ideal. Alright, guys. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so the safety car is coming in this lap. Let's have a quick look when they're gonna go. Everyone came into the pits, which is ideal for these guys. A little bit of a pile up there. Oh, the Ferrari driver almost going into the back. Let's go to the front of the grid. Is Call Me Arcade already going? Yes, it does look like it's Scottish with a little bit of a snap coming through that last corner. Down the main straight they go. Call Me Arcade weaving a little bit there. I don't think that is allowed too much. Don't weave one more time to the left. That is going to be... Oh, that is going to be not allowed if I'm not mistaken. Going into turn 1, doesn't look like anyone is going to be able to make a move. Maybe the Alpine driver. No. Nope. Nobody make a move. Scottish now trying to get back to Call Me Arcade. Call Me Arcade just has so much speed down the straight. Look at that. He's pulling away from Scottish down the straight, but he's also pulling away from Scottish down the corners. So it's crazy on how much speed Call Me Arcade has right now today here in Mexico. Nobody really is able to make a move anytime soon. It seems like at the back of the grid, they're not really making any moves either. Maybe Shermanator gained 2 positions already. He's on the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver. And what is Shermanator gonna do? He's not quite there yet. Was looking for it. Just not there yet. Khan has dropped more positions than he gained on these soft tires. Look at the position changes. Gained only 1 position, and I think it was quite far ahead earlier. We're heading into lap 14 out of 36, so that means 22 more laps to go. And now Khan goes down the inside. Does he have enough straight line speed? It does look like it. Oh, and he backs out of it. They both make an overtake on the Williams driver. We'll try at least. Almost goes into the back of the AlphaTauri driver, and there's the Williams driver, and Khan goes into the back of the Williams driver. Almost spins him out one more time. 3-second time penalty again for Scottish. Because it seems like the Steps and Tutski are having a heated battle. Here comes Khan around the outside. AWH Smith puts his nose down the inside of the Williams driver. Khan pushes Smith a little bit deep into that corner. Here he goes one more time. And he gets the position thanks to that, but it doesn't look like any moves can be made without touching each other here in the midfield. Let's go back to Kev Slice, who's right on the tail of Tutski. Ooh, as I said, Tutski is really playing around with the track limits. Oh, and someone crashed out. That is going to be Shermanator on the soft tires. Very unfortunate. Here comes Kev Slice down the inside. He has the space. Make switchback work. Make switchback work. Do it. Do it now. No. Oh, almost made the overtake. Oh, he makes the overtake anyway. Beautiful line there from Kev Slice. And is he now going to have the DRS? Doesn't look like it. The DRS is not enabled yet, but he has the straight line speed. We know that from Kev Slice. Look at that. Oh, beautiful move from Kev Slice. Takes the position from Tutski. Of course, he is on the soft tire, so it was quite expected. But, yeah, still a good move from Kev Slice, even if he's on the soft tires and Tutski's on the hard tires. Scottish is still hanging around there. Oranje Boom coming into the pits to catch a DNF. As that is going to be raised over for the Englishman. I don't think a safety car will come out if someone DNFs in the pit lane. Well, I know that for sure. Mookie and Talk having a heated battle. Going into... Ooh, Sector 2. As it seems like Mookie keeps the position from the Haas driver. He finds himself in the Haas sandwich right now, though. Which is quite interesting. Because I don't think... Well, they've got a 1.9, 2.0 second gap to Tonginga right now. Ooh, Talk with another penalty. Oh, Talk, come on, mate. Your penalties are the worst out of them all. Look at that. 12 seconds. Thomas, what are you doing, mate? Call Me Arcade with a 3-second time penalty. Ah, Thomas, what are you doing, mate? Tutski, 7 positions gained. He's right on the tail of Kev Slice. Well, kind of losing a Toto. Kev Slice was about a couple of tens in front. Now he's a full second in front, and he's also looking to make a move on the steps. DRS wide open for Kev Slice, and is he already going for it? It does look like it on the soft tires. Has a good braking line there, braking point, I should say. And he's gonna have the DRS one more time. He's gonna make another gap to the steps, and he enters the top 3, and the top 3 all have penalties. So if the steps can keep the pace of Kev Slice, he should be able to go back into the top 3. Khan and Tutski now having a heated battle. Here comes Khan down the inside. Oh, pushes. Well, There's something interesting about that corner. The guys push each other quite wide there. And I'm not too sure if it's going to be deemed a penalty if you make the overtake while you get pushed out. I had it once and I was so frustrated by it, and it didn't get removed, and I was so frustrated by it. It was crazy. It was mental. I was just pissed off at the league owners and all that kind of... Thomas, come on, mate. Another 3-second time penalty. How can you take so many penalties? That's my question for you. How is that even possible? Jan on the tail of Tutski. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make that move anytime soon, though. Tutski is going to have the DRS. But Khan does have the soft tires. Look at that pace from Khan coming through that last sector. And now Jan. Oh, Scottish. Scottish is quite close to a Call Me Arcade. Down the inside he goes. And is he gonna be another race leader? It does look like it. Scottish keeps the position. Beautifully done by Scottish there, trying to go down the inside. He's got the DRS right now. And is it gonna be enough? Yes, indeed it is. I don't think Call Me Arcade is gonna be stupid enough to go down the inside. No, he's not. And Scottish, we've got a new race leader. Race leader alert. Bing, bing. Let me put my face on there one more time. Ding, 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 dong. Who is there? It's Scottish, bitch. Makes the overtake on Call Me Arcade. Beautifully done by Scottish, but the question is, how many penalties do all the guys have? Look at that. Scottish has got 6 seconds. But that's the problem. Call Me Arcade just needs to be within the toe of Scottish, and he's going to be able to get that position. Of course, if Scottish is not going to get his penalty removed. El Chassal making the overtake on Tog. I think Tog made a mistake. He's lost his front wing. At this point. Oh, another 5-second time penalty for Kev Slice. He had another one earlier. Speeding in the pit lane. Virtual safety car has been deployed. And who is coming into the pits? Mookie is coming into the pits. Position change wise. Tire wise. Khan not playing the best strategy here, mate. 18 more laps to go, and he's on those soft tires, which is not great. 7-lap old softs, he will not be able to complete the race on those soft tires, I'm afraid. And look at that. Mookie dropped back all the way to P10 and Tog DNFs from the race. 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane too. Dutski with a drive-through penalty. No way. Oh, that is fatal. That is fatal for the Ferrari driver. Donghinga with a couple of positions gained, though. I didn't manage that. Well, managed to catch that. 7 positions already. Some good racing from the Haas driver. Mookie also with 7 positions gained, and also Chassal. But, I mean, he won those positions thanks to the guys DNFing. You know, we have 7 drivers actually DNFing, so that's where those positions came from. Let's go on board with Call Me Arcade, as he's going to have the DRS. Down the inside he goes. That is going to be moved on. We tend to see a lot of straight line speed overtakes. Scott is trying to make a switchback work, but it's not going to work. Oh, catches another 3-second time penalty. And yeah, Call Me Arcade has the DRS, so Scottish really has to do something about those penalties, though. That's something we see each week in, week out, the penalties of Scottish, and he's just dropping a lot of positions thanks to that. But I think on Mexico specifically, I don't think many people won't get a penalty. It's just the kind of track. You know, you've got so many runaway room. And sometimes when you don't want to spin, you've got to play around with the track limits a little bit. That's what Dutski does too. You know, he plays around with the track limits, sometimes gets a penalty for it, but he has enough speed to make up for those 3-second time penalties. And I don't think Scottish has that kind of speed, because he's not really pulling a gap from Call Me Arcade. He's more behind, and he's got 6-second, well, a time penalty of 6-second more than our kid. Down the inside he goes. And once again, a move down the main straight. And you know what the thing is? Here in Mexico, you know, let's compare Mexico to, for example, Singapore. Kind of give the same... Oh, it's a three-way battle here. Look at that. Jan takes B4. Beautifully done. Both the drivers almost going to the wall. I think it was AWH Smith breaking the braking point board. And now goes... No, it's Tonghinga going down the inside. Kind of leaves enough space for the Haas driver, but goes back down the inside. Has those soft tires selected. Here comes AWH Smith. Tonghinga around the outside. And this is not great for AWH Smith, to be honest, because, you know, I don't think he's kind of an aggressive driver, but I think he's unaware of his surroundings. I think that's the problem with AWH Smith sometimes. Well, problem. It's not really a problem, but you can definitely work with that. Constructive feedback. No, but what I was saying, right? You want to compare Singapore with Mexico, for example. Singapore has a lot of, like, walls right next to the corner. So you're not going to be able to push as much as you want just because you're going to spin into the wall. But I think around Mexico, you can push by quite a bit and even go a little bit deeper into a corner or going too wide into a corner. Gain time, but you're going to get a track warning, and that's the risk you're playing with. And I think Tutski does that quite well. Scottish a little bit too much. Ooh, Thomas, who did you get spun around by? Ooh, Tonghinga making a move on Khan. Some beautiful racing between the both of them. They're kind of losing the toe to Jan right now. Look at that gap already from Jan. 2.2 seconds. AWH Smith. Mookie making the overtake on Kev. What happened to Kev, though? Oh, he was on the soft tires. I remember. He was on the soft tires. Right now on the mediums. Not the best strategy from Kev, but it is what it is. Sometimes you make stupid mistakes. Stupid decisions. Well, stupid. It's not really stupid, is it, Kev? Oh, but Alias is all the way in P19. What happened, Thomas? Where did you get... In what corner did you get spun? Let me give you some information about that corner. Coming around the last corner. Still 14 more laps to go. It looks like this race is not ending. Mainly because we had a sprint race too, so, you know. Shermanator coming into the pits. Here comes Scottish trying to go down the inside. The room was not there. Decided to back out of it. He's gonna have another opportunity though. Deer is wide open. I don't think this straight is long enough to be able to make a move. Or is Scottish gonna prove me wrong? No, he isn't. Our kid defending the inside line. Now having a good line coming through that fast right-hander. A double corner. I don't know how you should actually call that. A double right-hander. Whatever. And you know what? Look at the difference between Call Me Our Kid and Scottish. Look at their different race styles. So basically, Call Me Our Kid, when he enters a corner, he takes as much curb on the outside of the corner before, well, on the outside of the track before turning into the corner. And I think that's where he's really able to play around with the track limits a little bit more than Scottish is. Because what Scottish is doing, he's not taking too much curb on the exit. And that's when you're going to have an awkward line coming through turn 2, well, through the second corner as he makes the overtake on Call Me Our Kid right now. But let's have a quick look here. He doesn't take too much curb on the exit. Well, he does right now, but in some corners he doesn't. And that's where you're not going to be able to turn in quite well in the second corner. And that's when you're going to run wide and catch the track limit because you want to push as much as possible coming through that second corner. And that's what we see different with Call Me Our Kid. Well, he doesn't do it right now, but he takes as much curb as possible on the exit. Look at this, look at this. He plays around with those track limits. He doesn't catch a track limit though. Look at that, once again. He doesn't catch a track limit, but he just has such a good line coming through that corner. You can see him gaining a little bit of time here, gaining a little bit of time there on Scottish. And that's where he's not going to get a penalty, but Scottish is. So that's the difference between the both of them. I think Scottish can play a little bit more with the track limits in order to prevent getting a track limit, if that makes sense. You know, trying to get a track limit before going into a corner is sometimes better than getting a track limit getting out of a corner, because that's when you're playing around with it instead of making a mistake. So yeah, a fun thing right there. I know Tutski is going to go into my DMs and say I'm wrong about something, but I'm quite sure about this about this thing. You want to go out, in, out, and you don't want to go in, out, in. That's just a thing. Ooh, Tonghinga, what is happening here with this car? Call Me Arcade making a move? No, he's not going to be able to. That is quite interesting. That's the first time I've seen it where Call Me Arcade is not able to make a move down the straight with the use of DRS. So is Scottish pushing a little bit? Or is he listening to what I'm saying and playing around with the track limits and trying to gain some pace here? Let's have a... Oh, this is some beautiful... Look at that. Look at that. So they're both... Yeah, they're both taking the line right now, but this is the right corner where I'm talking about. So this is where I noticed the difference between both of them. Okay, so right now it seems like Scottish did do what I said earlier. Oh, takes an interesting line, almost loses the car though. But sometimes Scottish didn't do what I said he should be doing. And I think the moments where he doesn't do what because that's also very not bad. It's not a bad habit or anything. But like if you do it sometimes, you do it sometimes, well, you don't sometimes do it. That's going to create some kind of confusion towards your brain, because you're going to take a corner quite well, and then the other time you're going to take that corner awfully. And that's what they try, well, they need to avoid here. Well, Scottish then, of course. Call Me Arcade down the straight, makes that overtake on the Mercedes driver. Beautifully done. Call Me Arcade trying to make a switchback work. Look at that, he's quite close to the Aston Martin driver, and there goes Arcade. Making a mistake. He is going to have the DRS once again, but I think Scottish just had so much straight line speed coming through that corner. Well, that doesn't make sense, straight line speed coming through a corner. But he had so much exit speed coming through that corner. Catch more straight line speed down the straight. And here they go. Once again, it's a back and forward race because there's no real good overtaking opportunities, and there's not a real chance of pulling away. I think where you need to pull away is here through the S's, but then once again you're gonna have a DRS opportunity right after those S's, so you really need to pull away for 1 second coming through the S's, and that's such a hard thing when being on the same tires, when having the same kind of pace, when having the same kind of ERS management, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you know. Oh, look at that ERS management though. Call Me Arcade has way more ERS than Scottish has. I think he is around 80%, and Scottish only has 35%, which is not great, if you ask me. And the quality of my live stream is a little bit bad, so I'm not too sure how I'm going to be able to improve that later on. As it seems like Call Me Arcade made the move on Scottish. Beautiful view we're having here from the Mercedes driver, as I don't think anyone is going to be able to make a move at the back of the grid. AP with a 3-second time penalty. Jan might be catching up to the steps. You know what the thing is? If the steps manages to catch up to Scottish and Call Me Arcade a little bit more, he might be able to catch a P2. Because Scottish has those 9-second time penalties, right? Look at that beautiful line from Arcade. But also Scottish, with that dirty air, he's really able to close that gap for some reason. Around the outside he goes, brakes a little bit earlier. But Call Me Arcade, you know what the thing is, Call Me Arcade, he just doesn't give this for free. And he also has less penalties, so he doesn't really need to push too much, which I do think Scottish needs to do. A little bit of an awkward line coming through that last corner from Call Me Arcade. But it doesn't look like Scottish manages to get closer either. And he makes the overtake down the straight. And that's the only move we're going to be seeing today. You know, making a move down the main straight. It's not really a good racing track in my opinion. It's a risky track. I'm not going to say a dirty track, but you do have a lot of corners where you're going to have to be dirty to keep your position. And the only real overtaking opportunity is down the straight. Jan in P4, making the overtake on the steps pretty soon because he's got the DRS down the straight one more time next lap. Going into the SS right now. He really needs to keep it close to the AlphaTauri driver. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to. Through the SS they go. What tires are we looking at? The top 6 is on hard tires, and then we've got Mookie on the mediums. Khan on the soft tires. He went into the pits for another set of softs. He's going to be able to finish on those softs though. 9 more laps to go. Yeah, Jan is going to be able to make that move. Down the main straight they go, coming around the last corner. And here we've got the Frenchman trying to enter the top 3. The steps making a little mistake. DRS wide open for Jan. He has a lot of ERS saved. Not too sure about the steps here. Here comes Jan. As it seems like the steps has a lot of straight line speed. Look at that. I think he's draining all of his ERS trying to keep this position. Jan not able to make the move. How much ERS does the steps have? Around 30%, 25 maybe. Jan has another opportunity. Has a good exit coming through that last corner. But look at that straight line speed from the steps one more time. It's just crazy how much straight line speed he has. I think that's where he's losing a bit of time to Call Me Our Kid. He's not that fast through the corners, but he is as fast on the straights. It's really annoying as a driver who's trying to get back to the top 3. You're just losing too much time because you don't have the speed through the corners. And the top 2, I think their setup is a little bit better through the corners, and they just have a lot of speed. That's just the thing. You're gonna have the DRS off each other anyway. Jan's struggling a little bit. Around the last corner, he's not gonna have an opportunity again because he's too far behind. 6/10s, 5/10s. He's not gonna be able to make the overtake. Scottish trailing by a couple of tenths. 7 more laps to go after this one. Down the main straight they go. Well, main straight. It's not really the main straight. He's looking for it though, but it's not gonna be a move. I think someone crashed. Is that an AlphaTauri? It is an AlphaTauri. Who is that AlphaTauri? Is it Smith? Yeah, it does look like Smith. Scottish, 4/10s behind Call Me Our Kid. We might want to go to POV mode again. But yeah. Oh, Khan really close to Mookie right now. Right the outside he goes back onto the racing line. Good move from Khan. And is he going to be able to keep this position? I would say so. 4-lap old softs. They should be a little fresher than those medium tires from Mookie. 11-lap old medium tires. I'm not too sure how long you can keep these mediums for. I'm not too sure. Even 7 laps, it's going to be tough. 18-lap mediums? That should work. Usually the guys tend to do around 20 laps on the mediums. Oh, someone crashed out. Is that Mookie? Oh, it is Mookie. No way. Oh, he spun in the wall, but I don't think he has any damage. Jan once again right behind the AlphaTauri driver, and here comes Scottish. Some heavy battling between these two. Scottish now trying to make a switchback work. Oh, not gonna be able to do so. And now he will have the DRS one more time. Will he be going for it? Yes, indeed he will. Into turn 6 they go. And that is going to be moved on by Scottish. Some beautiful racing here between the two, and they keep it respectful on track, which is quite nice. You know, you would say if I were Call Me Our Kid, I would be pushing anything. This, you know, Scottish has those 9-second time penalties anyway. Look at that, 9 seconds. So he's got a buffer of about 6 seconds. So he doesn't need to push anything. He doesn't need to be, well, I'm not going to say dirty, because he's not dirty, of course, but sometimes you need to be a little dirtier to be able to keep a position. But he doesn't need to do that right now, obviously, because he is in P2. He's only 1 second behind Scottish. He's got a 6-second buffer. So he can even lose 5 more seconds and still come in P1. Jan on the tail of the steps. Yeah, it's looking a little bit awkward here for the Williams driver because the steps just has so much straight line speed, and he's managing to regain, well, the steps here. He's managing to regain a lot of ERS coming through Sector 2. And now Jan makes the move. He is up in P3. He does have a 6-second time penalty though, so... The same scenario here. The steps doesn't really need to push anything. He can just save ERS now. Trying to stick to the toe of the Frenchman, and that's a P3 for him. He's definitely not going to get that position from Scotty anymore, because he's about 14-15 seconds behind the oh, safety car situation. That is changing everything. That is changing everything. 31 laps out of the 36 have been driven, and this is awful. This is awful for all the guys on penalties, because the steps doesn't have a single penalty yet. And that's the power of having no penalties, guys. Just be confident of getting no penalties. Just be consistent of getting no penalties, and you're gonna win races. The steps wasn't pushing anything. The steps wasn't risking anything, and it's playing in his advantage. 31 out of 36. Still 5 more laps have to be driven, and the steps is gonna be having a big advantage if, and only if, he comes into the pits though. Scottish comes into the pits. He was on 10 lap old mediums. Oh, he goes on to 10 lap old mediums. Wait. No, he goes on to 10 lap old mediums. What is this guy doing? Oh man. Oh, he probably didn't have enough softs anymore. Or did he? I don't know. What is this kind of strategy? Who goes onto the medium tires at the end of the race? Oh man. Oh, what an awful strategy. Probably not his fault though. It could be the game, giving him medium tires instead of soft tires, but... Let's have a quick look with the steps. Yeah. He'll have to push a little bit to get past Jan and Call Me Arkit. Well, Call Me Arkit not necessarily, but... At least Scottish, and then he needs to get to the toe of Call Me Arkit. If he manages to do that, I do think he's going to win this race, but for now it's going to be risky. Sorry guys, I just had an important message here. Alright, we're back at it again. Well, we're not racing yet, so we're just patiently waiting. Should I give you a quick fact? Wait, Scottish is coming back at it. No way! That's even worse! Oh man, that's even worse. What is he doing? Although... Oh, it's not really that bad though. I thought everyone was behind the safety car. Apparently they weren't. Alright. It's not that bad, but he still has a 9-second time penalty, so... I'm not too sure if this was the smartest thing to do, but... I mean, I'm not the racing driver, I'm the commentator, of course. We're just chilling. And I think it's gonna be one more lap behind the safety car. At least, if AP and Shermanator are not catching up. I don't think Shermanator is ever going to catch up. What are they even doing? What are they even doing? I think... Who is this? It's Tusky. Why is he not able to make the overtake on Shermanator? He's going to give back the position. Oh man, why is Shermanator even in AI? Why is he not in the lobby? Why did he just leave the session? I don't think this is the first time he's done that. And at this rate, they're not able to catch up to the safety car. Oh my god, this is chaos. So Tutsky, you see this also happens with non-crossplay. That's awful, actually. Shermanator is 2 laps down. Dusky is 1 lap down. Can you show the penalties? Yes, indeed I can. There we go. Jan with 6 seconds. Yeah, he's gonna drop a couple. He's definitely not gonna win the race. And you know, as I said, and as I say each race, penalties penalties lose you races. You can see, you know, the steps even gained the position with Scottish coming into the pit, so that's one guy he doesn't have to worry about. So all he has to do right now, and maybe it's gonna play in his advantage when Jan thinks, you know, I'm battling with not with nobody, but with a guy who doesn't have a penalty. I'm just gonna let him go through. And then Kalmar Kid, he cannot do anything about it unless push as hard as he can. Only 2 laps. He needs to create a 3-second gap in 2 laps. That's 1.5 seconds a lap. And he's got that kind of pace, though. I certainly think that he's got that kind of pace. But I don't think that the steps is gonna let Kalmar Kid win this race. He's just too focused. He's just too focused. Didn't catch a single penalty. That's one sign of you being very focused. You know, if you don't catch a single penalty, that means you didn't make a mistake going into a corner or coming out of a corner. As a point 2, he was battling with Jan, being very careful with his ERS, keeping the Frenchman behind him. That's also a good point of being focused and all that kind of stuff. And point 3, look at where he is right now. Without getting a single penalty, he's still in P3, so that means his pace is also very good. So let's have a quick look, guys. Safety car is coming in this lap, 35 out of 36. Well, we're heading into 35 out of the 36. I really need to go to bed right now, but I mean, it is what it is. Coming around the last corner as we're heading into sector 3. Very interesting to see when Kalmar Kid is going to go. I think if I were a racing driver, I would already go right now. Although the safety car didn't come into the pits yet, though. Alright, here we go. Penultimate lap. Kalmar Kid has already gone. Jan kind of got caught sleeping. 8/10s behind the Aston Martin driver. And there's already a 1-second gap to the steps. So that's already 1 second. He doesn't have to get... Well, he doesn't have to make up for anymore. Here comes the steps. Right behind the Frenchman. Makes the overtake. Uses all of his ERS to get back to Kalmar Kid. Goes down the inside of the Frenchman. Dusky with a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I'm pretty sure he can get that removed, to be honest, because he's the league owner anyway. Kalmar Kid is really pushing. It's a 2-way battle for P1. Jan doesn't have anything to battle for. He's going to drop a couple of positions. And I think Jan just has to leave these two go in the horizon. Just let them be, because right now he's pushing the steps into a mistake. And I think... I personally think that's not a nice way to do it. You know, look at him being so close to the steps. The steps is probably being very nervous. Jan, yeah, what is he even battling for? He's got a 6-second time penalty. This is not the moment to make a move. Oh, the steps taking a beautiful line coming through there. 1.6 seconds, only 1.5 seconds left for our kid to win this race. Jan pushing and pushing. It's a big DRS battle, but we are not going to be having DRS. Kalmar Kid with the fastest lap. Look at how much he's gaining coming through that last corner. He gained about 4/10. The fastest lap is a 1:17.1. I think Jan is just going to leave the steps race. Don't throw it down the inside. No, don't do it. Beautifully done by Jan. He's on the he's on a tight schedule here, the steps. He doesn't have too much room for mistakes. 2 seconds right now. 1 more second for Kalmar Kid. Is he gonna push as much as possible? Oh, Jan almost goes into the back of the AlphaTauri driver. He cannot go into the back of the AlphaTauri driver. Scottish and the guys here at the back are having a heated battle too. Scottish makes up a position. He does have those 9 seconds though. 2.3 seconds, 2.4 seconds. This is going to be a tight battle between the both of them. It's just based on penalties, not on pace. Well, it is on pace and not on battles, but just on penalties. 2.6 coming into the last sector. Will he be able to catch this race win? Call Me Our Kid with his 3-second time penalty. The steps is really pushing right now. Coming around the last corner. Well, not really the last corner, the penultimate corner. 2.6, 2.7. Will it be enough for Call Me Our Kid? 2.8, 2.9. Coming down the line. 2.9, 2.97, 2.98. And it will be the steps taking the race win by 16 thousandths on Call Me Our Kid. Just enough pushed by the AlphaTauri driver to take the race win home. Beautiful racing. Khan takes a surprising P3 though, as it is going to be Kev in P4. Also a surprising result, if I'm being honest. He was all the way at the bottom of the grid somewhere during this race. AWH Smith in P5, Tonhinga in P6. Good race from him too. I think he came all the way from the back of the grid. Jan dropped back to P7 thanks to those 6-second time penalties. Scottish with his 9-second time penalty dropped back all the way to P8. And I'm not too sure what the rest of the grid was then, but I think Dutski had his drive-through penalty, so he dropped a lot of positions thanks to that. But we will focus on that later. Let me remove my camera real quick, guys. There we go. Here we go. The steps with his Czech flag takes the race win by 16 thousandths. Beautifully done by the steps. Just edging his way for the race win. So the steps in P1, Call Me Our Kid in P2, and Khan in P3. Kevin P4 and AWH Smith in P5. Further, we've got Tonhinga, Jan, Scottish, Ishasal, Mookie, and Dutski. And then, of course, AP. And then we've got our DNFs, Shermanator, Talk, Oranje Boom, Jesper, Daryl Naismith, Swanee, and Ali House, all the way at the back of the grid. One second, guys. Sorry, I had to sneeze. All my days. All right, guys. So these are going to be the results for the sprint. One more time. It's going to be 10 points for P1 and not 8 points. And of course, these points are not the same either, if I'm not mistaken. Fastest lap goes to our Call Me Our Kid, though, 117.1. Good lap from the Aston Martin driver, but it's not going to be good enough for the race win by 16 thousandths. He does have that 3-second time penalty, which did play in his disadvantage. Otherwise, he would definitely win this race, but it was not for today. So guys, I would like to thank you for watching the live stream. I hope you guys liked it quite a bit. I hope you guys liked the race as much as I did. Although the last part, well, not the last part, but like lap right after that safety car, or right in front of that safety car, it was boring. It was back and forth racing. That's just what Mexico is all about. There's no real corners where you're able to make the overtake instead of forcing someone off track. Well, without forcing someone off track, but it is what it is. Guys, I'm gonna leave it to you. I wish you guys all a happy evening, a fun evening, whatever. If you go to bed, good night, and I'll catch you guys next week. No, it's not gonna be next week because the season has ended. Not too sure when the next race is, guys, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be there once again as your commentator for Div 2. Guys, thank you very much for for watching the live stream. Make sure to give the live stream a like if you haven't already. And make sure to follow the channel if you haven't already either. So guys, this was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator. Make sure to check out my socials too if you want to see some more live streams or whatever, or some commentary videos. But guys, this was it for me. Phoebe Thomas as your commentator. Peace out.